Welcome back to Flipper Flicks. Today we're going to be making end of the world jokes like there's no tomorrow. And I'm Sam.
There, she did it.
I did it.
You know, you're gonna. Oh, you did. You're good. You're good. I'm Adam. We're doing a new. We're doing new stuff here.
Can you state your name again?
I spoke over you.
Oh, I'm Tim.
Okay, cool.
Adam just plowed over you, so I didn't know if that was going to come
Bulldozed.
out. Alrighty. So if you saw our Instagram, Twitter, our social media, you'll know that we chatted about expectations for this movie. But the movie that Tim picked this week was 444, Last Day on Earth. The point of picking it was because we needed a movie with 4. So there you go. If you want to know why else he picked it, yeah, look on social media because we're not talking about it in the episode these days.
And I will say it wasn't just me that picked it.
No, you picked it.
I was involved.
Threw a bunch of, and then it was just kind of like, yeah, I gave you guys options, you gave me one back. There you go.
Oh,
That is
really?
True. Yeah.
I was not a part of this.
It
So
was
that's
what-
why
it
I
was-
assumed you
let's
just
just
picked it.
Let's be real. It was a Tim and Adam pick, and we just disregarded our third host on this
Tell
one.
Sam.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I
And we made
definitely
her
did
intro.
not know that this was
And we made her
a
intro.
joint decision. That's cool. That's cool, guys. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, this is normal for us, right?
This is great. You guys picked it, and then you put it all on me. Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's get to the synopsis for this one. Oh, God.
My
Sorry.
font's for ants.
No, my eyes just unfocused. And I was like, I can't read that
Do you
anymore.
need glasses?
No. A look at how a painter and a
I'm not cutting that.
successful actor spend their last day together before the world comes to an end. Okay, can I just have a brief second here that I did not know he was an actor? Is that in the film?
Wait, he's an actor?
He's a successful actor.
Yeah, apparently he is, but
Willem Dafoe is definitely successful.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
is, but, you know,
And
he just
Cisco, I have no idea.
He just plays himself. That's what it is.
And we know she's a painter because that's about all she does in this film.
All
But
she does.
in terms of acting, that's news to me.
Yes. But before we go into all the chaos of this episode, do we want to kind of go into what we're doing for season 4? Because we're changing things up.
Yeah, we'll let you discuss that.
Well, expectations, you got to pay attention to social media. That's gone, kind of. But it's still here in our heart.
Just not in the episode.
Yeah. We're going to try and maybe trim things down a little bit.
Trimming the fat.
We're going to trim the fat. You just want that nice big old meat.
99.9% lean beef.
Sure.
Isn't that the levels of the taco meat? There's like 90,
I don't know if it's 0.9.
90.
We're going from like regular, we're going from like a good steak to like a Wagyu steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Perfectly marbled.
It's
everything
all
you
the
need.
fats woven in there perfectly.
I was thinking we were going from like ground chuck to ground sirloin. That's where my 99.9 came
Yeah.
from.
Are we
Okay.
just gonna list meats now? Because I'm
Yeah, we
gonna
can.
get the meat sweats just thinking about it.
But another weird thing. It's not weird, but we're gonna try and change our flip on and flip off shenanigans. I'm gonna keep using that word.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna get pistol whipped by the lieutenant in fucking Super
Marvel.
Troopers. We're doing the Flipper Flicks algorithm. It's kind of built for all three of us individually, and we're gonna see if it tells us to flip movies on or off because
Why not?
And then if it aligns with what we actually feel.
because like the algorithm tells me what I should like.
Exactly.
what I should like. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see if that's the case because you can't trust the critics
Exactly.
and you can't trust the
Oh,
other people
no.
who listen to stuff. You definitely can't trust Google.
Well, and I also thought that, like, if the algorithm tells you you liked it and you're like, dude, I fucking hated this movie, then, like, you know how you feel about it. Because I feel like a lot of the previous seasons, we've been on the fence of, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
like it or not. Like, this almost forces
Right.
a decision, which is nice.
Exactly.
A fun thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no more fence.
And if it doesn't work, we'll toss it
Yeah.
out.
There is no more fence.
We got rid of the fence. There's no partition.
We tore it down.
Actually, the fence is bigger, I guess. Because you can't be on it. It's very We pointed the fence. It's all.
We're fixated on the
Semantics.
fence here. Yeah.
Remember how we were supposed to be trimming that fat?
Yeah. So this movie, and okay, is that the sequence or order of shenanigans. The order is going to be a little different, but the same. So, longtime listeners, you'll understand more or less what we're talking about. But we're going real nice and deep and slow right now, and we're going to just get
This is
started.
becoming ASMR.
I don't even know what
Is
that
that a
noise
windstorm?
is. Yeah, it's Tim's propellers
Oh yeah, there you go.
blowing behind him. All right, who wants to get started on this?
I heard chat
well,
a lot.
Yeah.
Oh
How did
my
you guys like? Yeah, I was just I pulled up the algorithm, but I should have done that. But anyway, or
got
the, like,
distracted.
The numbers
Started
and
reading it.
whatnot.
Yeah. I'm not sure how we necessarily want to do this now, but how did you guys feel about the music in it? So like, there was obviously a lack of music in this movie. It
Mhm.
started out with something, and then it
Yeah.
completely went away, and then it was just kind of like constant noise, but like
Weird.
nothing made sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, it made sense. Like, it was trying to use atmospheric sounds instead of like music.
It wasn't
But I was
using
gonna say-
there's a fancy word for it that I don't remember where it's like,
Ambiance.
no, that's not it. Like there's like if the character can hear the music or if the character cannot hear the music.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
movie,
It uses the
the music they can hear. While we're typically watching films where they can't hear
the
shit.
music is in.
They don't know what
Oh.
Hans Zimmer's fucking doing a masterpiece in the
Right, yeah.
background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a note that the music was odd because it felt odd.
I thought it worked for me.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Usually I love it in movies. Usually it's done really well when there's lack of music in movies. I hated this. I hated it.
It felt
bothered you?
really jarring.
Because it was like they went from music to like pure chaos. So like when he was watching TV, there'd be something in the background making noise as well. So it would like interrupted my concentration with what was going on with him constantly over and over again.
Yeah.
Or vice versa with her. She would be like doing something, and they seemed very deliberate with how they filmed it, and they wanted you to focus on what was going on and like, or what they were paying attention to was very meaningful, and then they would have background noise that just obviously didn't go with this. I don't know, it's just weird.
They had a lot of like Buddhist video. Well, seemingly Buddhist. The guy
Yeah.
seemed angry for a Buddhist.
Mhm.
The Dalai Lama was speaking at one point. A lot of Al Gore, a lot of the news. They had a lot
Yeah.
of just. I mean, it makes sense to have a bunch of the news going on, right? It's the fucking
Right.
end of the world.
The world is gonna end. Yeah.
Yeah,
There-
but they had like 5 TVs. Okay, maybe they didn't have
They did
5
have,
TVs.
like, 5
They had at
TVs.
least 3 or 4, which for their apartment, it wasn't like you were moving from room to room where there was.
Right,
It
it's
just
a
felt like
studio.
there was
It was
like
a
Yeah.
big ass studio
5
in New York.
TVs
It's a
in their
long
room.
studio. Yeah, and each one was playing, or like he had a laptop that he had stuff going on, and God,
Mhm.
that was awful.
Yeah.
I'm glad he turned it down himself because I wanted to do that.
But
Oh,
then
when the jam session
They're
happened?
playing the jam session. He's just like sitting there, and then all of a sudden he just like zones out and turns it down. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, but I was also kind of like, I'd be pissed off if I was his friends because he doesn't really hang up on me. He just turns me down
he
and
just
then
turns it down
clearly
and walks
starts
away.
doing something else.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you even call me, bro? Like,
Right.
if you didn't want to hear me jam. I don't know. It was very odd. I found that odd, and then all of his Skype sessions, like she only Skyped with her mom once when she was like pissed off, but he was
Yeah.
like constantly calling people.
Movie
Yeah, he
produced
was.
by Skype.
Yeah, pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
It just seems like that.
It felt like it.
It felt really weird. I was like, why are you calling? Like,
And the kid calls Vietnam, although
Dude.
she says it's Vietnam. I don't know
That's
how
depressing.
she knows, but
mhm.
They might have been buying Vietnamese food.
Oh, could be.
maybe.
Yeah, like from like he just might own or work at a restaurant. I mean, he does. He clearly does.
Assume
but
he did with the delivery, but
that was depressing as shit.
yeah.
Can I Skypey? Oh, you want to
Mhm.
Skype? Yeah, you can Skype. I mean, I would have done it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say there's a lot of acceptance in this film, and that was bizarre to me. I don't believe that if the world is ending and like there's like proof and everybody know it's gonna end, I don't believe everybody would be that calm. Like you
I
saw,
don't think there was a lot of acceptance. I think everybody was just going about their, like, if you watched part of it, people besides the dude that like jumps off the balcony or whatever,
Is-
the
yeah.
fire escape, people are just going about their lives as if like it's just another day. It seemed like
There was a lot, yeah.
there was some people that were like drinking a lot, but I mean, aside from the movie, I don't know that you would know that's what they would do
Yeah.
other than their normal whatever. But it seemed like traffic was normal. Like people were like businesses were open doing stuff.
People
Like
were
he was able to
working
work. But
out.
I feel like
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
people were
Yeah, you
working
wouldn't be
out.
able to just order food and then.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody would be doing anything. They would just be hanging out or doing whatever. Like it wouldn't be. The world wouldn't be running. It would just be waiting. People just doing a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was odd to me that he was like working and people were working out and all the
Yeah.
like convenience stores were open.
Yeah.
God.
And then again, like it's 2012. Well, this movie came out before 2012, so like the
Just
whole
11, I
Mayan,
think.
yeah, like the whole Mayan calendar stuff. I remember that kind of being people freaking out. And I did not give a shit, so I guess that kind of says that something, right? Like, would I have been one of those people that just was like, I don't care, I don't believe it's gonna end?
Yeah. I was trying to remember back at that time and I feel like people like prepped like they
Yeah, there
would
was
for
some
like a
prep.
storm, but that was it. Like people they didn't close down businesses or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new millennium, like 2000, everybody freaked out about. I mean, we were all children.
Yeah, I don't remember
I don't remember shit.
if things were closed or
Yeah.
anything like that.
I remember people turning off their computers. That's what it was. It was made sure all their computers were turned off, so when it ticked over,
everything didn't
not that it
blow
would matter
up.
because then when
Exactly.
you turn it back on,
Yeah, it's still
I
gonna
know,
have to
it's gonna
deal
have to
with
turn
it.
back
it's still
on
gonna happen.
eventually.
Yeah. So I didn't understand that, but and then lo and behold, it just continued on like it should have.
Yeah.
And it just sort of ended.
The movie?
No.
Well, yeah.
The world.
I know Sam saw Seeking a Friend. Did you ever see that one, Tim? With Steve Carell and Keira Knightley?
It sounds familiar. I don't know if I've watched it.
It's depressing as shit. He's literally just like wandering, looking for a friend because it's the end of the world. And in that
Mhm.
movie, they're acting all crazy, like, the world is ending.
Right, the world's actually ending.
And that's how I expected this to be. And then
Yeah.
it wasn't. And I was like, that's fucking weird.
I don't know though. Like, if you take it further, like, okay, we already had 2000 and 2012. Like, let's say this
Right.
movie doesn't take place in like the year 3000, but like by the year 3000, are people going to be like the boy cried wolf and they're not going to give a
Yeah.
shit?
Right,
Like,
they're
it's
not gonna
probably
care.
true.
It's probably where they were going with this. Is people
Yeah.
just didn't believe it, right? Because all these other times it's just been like nothing.
Yeah.
But this one is like, scientifically it's being shown as, and then ultimately it does happen, which was what I was hoping, just because it would
Yeah.
have been
Oh, yeah.
annoying if it didn't happen in this film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean another good one that I think is one of the better end of the world films that came out recently. I think it's on Netflix. Is Don't Look Up. I think is what it's
Yes.
called.
Oh yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah,
I thought that one was
movie's
hilarious.
really good. Yeah.
And I would say like half the population
Didn't care.
Didn't care.
Yeah. It was a very mixed thing, which I think was more realistic. But yeah,
I think that the main difference is between the 50-50 in this movie and that one is in that movie, the people that didn't believe it were a lot more vocal about it
Right.
rather than just
Yeah.
doing their everyday thing
Mhm.
yeah,
like they did in this movie, which was it's a nice foil against each other.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird. We're sounding way more professional than normal. It's that season 4
Vibe.
vibe that we got going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you guys, how did you feel about that very
Intimate scene? It's gonna bring
Intimate-
up the scene. We knew it was gonna make him comfortable.
I wanted to
Oh.
ask you, Tim, because I was like, "Oh shit, gotta get his opinion." 'Cause
It's
As
like,
soon
and
as
then
it
the
started.
hand just like slides, and you're like,
Oh my god! I was like, seriously? Did I accidentally pick like a porn? Like,
That's
is that where this is going?
I was
I like,
what
did
is
William
happening?
Dafoe do a low key porn and we didn't know about it? 'Cause
Right?
it pretty much was that. Like,
am I about to see Willem Dafoe's penis?
yeah.
Well, it was
Yeah,
like the first
almost.
5 minutes,
Almost.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm very over this from the start of it. I was like, I'm just done. Like, they started kissing, and I looked at Rihanna. I was like, I'm over this already. Like, this is fucking
I
awful.
can't handle this.
She's like, why don't you fast forward? I was like, well, that's cheating. I can't just like fast forward through part of the movie. I wish I had
'Cause they're-
fast forwarded because this is awful.
Because you could have just easily been like, because they're gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna have to
Right,
hear
yeah.
about it.
Well, the other thing is like it felt very lengthy, not as bad as The Room, but like in the vein of The Room, where like it was just like, I don't know, it went on for far too long, and it was like your very first entry into
it
the
was too
film.
much.
It was like, no, thank you.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
I
funny.
could see a bunch of people turning it off there, like because it kind of gives it. You're like, all right, well, that's as far as they're gonna go, and then they go further, and you're like, okay, that's as far as they're gonna go, and then they go further, and you're like, okay, all right, this is basically turning into like smut. Like, what the hell?
And this is the difference. We're gonna show full penetration.
All of it, full penetration. Yeah, she was like, you can't show nipples on TV. I was like, what? And then they show her nipples. I was like, there you go.
Yeah.
It's independent
The only thing
film.
they can't show is penetration, literally. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, even in it, like if it, I don't know.
Weird tangent, but if you're gonna watch this movie, it's the first 5 minutes of the film,
It's
so you need to be warned.
literally. We're not exaggerating. It's like 5 minutes. It's fucking awful.
But in reality, if the world was ending, that would happen a lot.
Mhm.
It would, yeah.
100%. So I respect that
But
they had it in the movie, but I didn't necessarily need to see as much as I saw.
And I didn't need to see it right away. You could have put it in
Right.
later in
Yeah.
the day.
You could have had it build
yeah,
up.
build up a little bit. Don't just immediately start it and question
Throw people
the
into
entire
it.
movie. Yeah.
Well, and that was kind of my biggest beef with this movie, and you touched on it a little bit, Tim, is like there's not a whole lot that happens. Like she's basically painting the whole time. But for most of the
pretty much.
movie, her painting is shit. And then towards the end, it finally develops into something. And then
As art does.
Yeah. He is flipping between watching TV and like Skyping his friends. And I just felt like it was kind of like lazy almost to use like the YouTube and the news clips. Cause like in theory, that's all shit that isn't like they can just rip off anywhere. Right. Like I'm sure
Right.
those videos exist in the world. And so like you have an
I do,
actor
yeah.
like Willem Dafoe and you're like not even using him to his full potential. He's just like
Yeah,
sitting
not
staring
really.
at a TV.
He could pretend to be a shoe and I'd believe it.
Yeah, but like he's like I don't know. It just felt lazy and like really we're just gonna have to watch her pour some
Right.
more paint on this piece.
Yeah, she just kept lobbing the paint on it. Like she started with one thing and she just covered it, and you're like, okay. And then she just covered that, and then she put fans on it, and it's like that's gonna take way too long to dry. It's
Yeah.
literally just a bucket of paint at this point.
I know. and
It's
then
like, what the
finally
hell?
it develops, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
like could we have
pretty
started at
dope.
this point?
Yeah.
Like,
The snake eating its tail.
it was a bad.
Whoremonger or whatever. Yeah.
Homunculus?
Oh yeah, there you go. But I don't know. So I found it lazy, and then also to your point, like it almost felt distracting because sometimes the TV like sound level was higher than like what they were saying, and I think it was
Right.
intentional. They wanted you to
It
pay
would
attention,
overlap.
but I'm like,
Yeah.
shut that down. I want to hear the conversation. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it was annoying.
I will say it was funny though when Defoe was like really close to the screen. He was like
Yeah.
smiling at it.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
He says, "Money is the source of all evil." And like,
It
or
is.
like, there's a question. He goes, "Yes." And then the kind of TV
Dalai
goes,
Lama is
"No,"
like,
and then he
"No."
goes, "Yes." And Dalai Lama just trails off, and he slowly like loses interest and then like leaves. But I thought that was funny.
Oh man.
I meant to look up if Willem Dafoe is actually a Buddhist. I know that some actors are, like Richard Gere is, but
I don't know.
You'll
that-
have to.
I'll have to Google it afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like he
and
isn't,
somewhere.
but
There's quite a few that are Christian Buddhists, which is a thing.
yeah, I guess so.
And then one of the other beefs that Adam and I had together
Oh shit, she's speaking for me. I
am,
don't trust this.
is that like when the world is finally ending, their window blows out.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, it, like explodes. Yeah.
Yeah, which was like I know it's trying to like signal to you that like hey, it's officially ending,
Shit's
but like
happening.
we kind of already got that from the power outage, so it just felt weird.
Or
That, like, their window
the
blew
very
out.
shitty Aurora Borealis
Yes.
or whatever that was happening.
Oh
on
yeah,
top.
that
Yeah.
CGI.
Very shittily done. Like, yeah, the wind. Yeah. Huh. I wonder what that could mean.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
Yeah.
I was curious about kind of more of the science of this and
Mhm.
the fact that I don't really know what would happen with the ozone going away. I thought everything just got too hot. Like the ozone is what's protecting us from the sun's like the sun rays and like
Sure. Yeah.
the UV and everything. So with the great extinction back in the day with the dinosaurs, a lot of the sea animals survived, and a lot of the animals that lived underground in caves survived. Would that happen again after the ozone repairs itself?
After it repairs itself?
In
don't
theory, the ozone could repair itself. Would
Right.
there be organisms that lived in the ocean or caves? Do you think they would come back?
that
Like,
aren't affected by it, essentially, is what you're saying.
exactly.
Mm.
Could a bunch of guys
They
living
don't
in a
need the
submarine?
atmosphere. Yeah.
I think. I mean, I
It
don't.
would take too long.
It would take too
Yeah.
long.
I mean, you'd need a like full colony or something, but
Yeah, because I would
There's-
think that like the ocean would start to like almost boil.
Right.
So
yeah.
maybe like you know how deep the ocean is, like maybe those really deep depths.
And they'll eventually start moving farther and farther up.
Maybe
Mm.
So it's just a weird idea I thought of.
you're gonna try to
Yeah,
like
it's interesting.
dive into the Marianas Trench to survive. Is that
If
your
I
plan of
was
attack?
Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That has a lot of methane gas, and that's what causes the Bermuda. That's what the issue is there, man. No, I was trying to think of where I would want to be at the end of the world. Like, where would we go? Oktoberfest again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say because at one point they like he goes to his friends who are getting high, and then he planned on getting high, and then the one was like, "I'd rather not."
I'd like to see the
I want to
stars.
see it, and he's like, "I don't know if I would want to."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I'd want to stand around and see it happen if
I-
it was something like that.
I think I would, but I understand both perspectives.
I think
Yeah.
I'm an ostrich type of person. I'd rather be blasted
Hunker
and
down.
just or go to sleep or something like that.
Yeah.
Now think about seeing all that shit on like shrooms or like
Exactly.
LSD. Like you're just like tripping and be like, "Whoa, man."
You're gonna die anyway. So.
Yeah, if you're fucked, you're fucked.
It's a tough
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah, I know. But in the movie, there's this guy that he commits suicide. And,
Right.
and then Cisco's staring, like, people are like putting
Oh
a
my
jacket
God.
at him. Don't do that.
He just keeps
Light a
yelling at people.
candle.
Just leave him alone. Yeah. You can't help him. Leave him alone. Like,
Leave Brittany alone.
Yeah.
I don't know, that
I
was
don't
weird
fully
to me.
understand his fascination with that, but
Yeah.
because he
But-
did it a few times. But yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit odd.
All right.
Should we get into the cast?
Well, we're not doing the cast anymore.
What?
Yeah. Jeez. Come on.
We're not
God
doing
damn
the
it,
cast
woman.
anymore?
No, the cast is going to be woven in because, like,
Oh.
I mean, we had like Sky. This movie had like 3 people.
I know. We already talked about Willem Dafoe, so I was like
Shannon
waiting.
Lee
for-
and Public Enemies.
Okay. But you didn't weave it in. So what happens
yeah.
if you don't weave it in? Are you just gonna abandon these other people in the movie and be like, sorry about your luck?
Bye, Felicia.
Okay. Sorry, Shannon Leaf.
Lee.
Whatever.
Sam added a leaf.
Leaf.
Oh, okay. So. We're new the algorithm. Let's do the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go first? What did it spit out for both of you?
I can go first.
Okay.
It told me that I was going to flip it off, and that's absolutely correct. I thought this movie was horrible, and I think there are better versions of this movie. Like, even one that's around the same vein of where, like, not a lot happens, that is also independent, that we watched is Night Into Day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the exact same, but, like, if you want people sitting around a house on their last day on Earth, I think that one's even better than this one. So, the algorithm was correct for me. I'm not watching this. But it sucks because Willem Dafoe is nice, but they wasted him, in my opinion.
How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I hated every second of this movie. Absolutely everything about this movie I hated. I mean, I was so disappointed. I think part of it is because Willem Dafoe is in it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I wanted more Dafoe, and I
Yeah.
got like whatever the shit they made him do. I don't know. Like
Sit on
it
Skype.
just was, yeah. I feel like he tried to make the character something, and it just couldn't because there was nothing there to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. This movie was terrible. Don't watch this movie. Flip it. Yeah, algorithm was correct for mine. Flip it off. Like this.
So I was on the fence after we watched it.
Ah, what did your algorithm say?
It said yes for me.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I mean, If I'm on the fence, I guess it has to be, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Since there's no fence.
So what's your defense for this movie?
Oh, I didn't hate all the music as much as both of you did, which weighed heavy in my algorithm.
There
That's
was no
true.
music though.
There was at the beginning, and I
In
didn't
the end.
in the end, and I don't mind
Right,
the overlay. Like the chaos worked for me because it just felt like
Yeah.
part of the theme of the movie.
It was
But-
very much intentional. So.
Yeah, and
Well, yeah.
I think I gave it like a 3 on that, but it's not like I put a 5 on my music.
You were like, this
Fuck
chaos
yes.
movie 5.
No, yeah. So like I looked at my final score and I know it was barely over the line.
Which, okay, so then it is actually accurate if you were on the fence and it's barely over the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it has to get over like a 14.2. I was like at a 14.6.
Whew, barely squeaked in there.
We're talking like barely flipping it on.
Mm,
So, see, the algorithm's interesting.
yes,
It angers people.
indeed. I mean, it hasn't angered me yet. It was
Wow.
correct.
Did you hear her like, indeed? Like, indeed, yes.
Indeed.
I'm already pissed off about it.
I'm not pissed off about it. It was accurate for me. But should we speak about our own algorithms, or we're just gonna assume like that's
Oh.
not gonna come up until it
Yeah,
angers us?
we can speak about it real quick. Just because it is new and improved. So where's the Adam algorithm? Like for me, dialogue is most important, and I didn't have any problems with the dialogue in this movie.
I was thinking through that, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't horrible, right? Like,
Yeah, I would say most of my shit was 3s on here.
Tim's face.
The cinematography wasn't bad. Music is my number 2.
Okay.
Cinematography, that one I didn't think was. I put it middle of the road as well. Was there bad cinematography in this?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I put a 1 for it.
I got the
I
vibe
bet
and
it was
then plot
trash.
and then acting.
It just like wasn't there. It wasn't present.
It was
Like-
2011, and they still couldn't they made it look like it was from like 1990.
I was gonna say,
Which I
maybe,
get.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if that's what they were going for, because if that is what they were going for, then maybe I would give it more. But they didn't give that impression,
yeah.
and then it had this like shitty, end of the world stuff. But I didn't mind that they just like had the light go brighter. That was okay. But
Yeah.
the fade out
The
was
rest of
actually
it was
kind of
just
funny. It was more of
awful.
a fade white.
fade fade in or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Fade in
No,
writer's
it's just
term.
a white fade out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are Sam. Sam's gonna read her order.
Well, now I'm wondering if we should put like CGI on here. Because that
Ooh.
Aurora
That's like
Borealis
cinematography.
wasn't great.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could mix that with cinematography.
Okay, let me see. What did I have music as number 1. I will watch a movie again if the music is really good, but the rest of it's garbage.
That's actually
Um,
very true for her.
And then I put dialogue as second because I hate when they write people horribly.
Mm.
Yeah. And then, like, shockingly, like, what's kind of lower to me is the plot because it's like, yeah, I want it to be a decent story, right? But, like, I think some of the other things for me personally can carry it. And I'll be like, I don't even care if, like, there's no development. As long as it looks and sounds nice, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my algorithm.
Tim, do you want to read yours or you want me to get it?
No, I got it right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled a lot with this. I actually just messed around with it again, as I was thinking about it, because I put acting as 1, because I think actors can make or break a film very easily.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And then I'm thinking about this film, and I'm like, I thought the acting was terrible because it's probably directing probably comes into it a little bit. But so I have acting as 1, and then dialogue as 2, because usually, to me, they kind of go hand in hand.
They do, yeah.
Mhm.
And then for 3, I actually had it as plot, but I switched it to music because I was going back and forth on this before anyway. Music is a big part of the films usually for me. So when something's very deliberate, like removing music from a film, it's usually very meaningful. Or
Yeah.
you have a film that has such a meaningful scene, and then the music behind it helps carry that.
Yeah.
Usually can bring out a lot more. So I switched that to 3 instead. I had it at 5 before. 4, I did cinematography because I was just kind of like, yeah, it is important, but I will watch things that aren't great to look at
Yeah.
if the rest of it is already good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then 5, I put plot because, again, a lot of the time the acting, dialogue, music can carry the film. And I do like movies. There's a lot of movies that I like that have a terrible plot.
Yeah, same.
And other people are like, "This is trash. This story makes no sense." And I'm like, "I fucking love it." So there's a lot of those I like.
Sometimes movies are just fun. They don't
Yeah.
need to have the best plot.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. And that's a lot of your popcorn flicks. I like popcorn flicks. So
Sometimes you just need them. Turn your brain off.
yeah. And vibe for me is like whatever. I put it as 6.
I think mine was too.
Yeah, I think we all kind of put vibe kind of low. I
Yeah.
wanted that category because like something like the Munsters, at least to me, has like no other redeeming qualities
the
like
vibe.
the vibe.
But the vibe,
And so
yeah.
it's like I
No,
think
that
we're
makes
gonna
sense.
run into movies like
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing, is like the vibe can kind of bring you into a movie and make you sit through it.
Mhm.
But if the rest of it can still suck, and then you're just
Exactly.
like,
Because like vibe
but
is
the vibe can help you get through the movie.
Yeah.
yeah. Vibe
But,
is kind of
yeah.
like the world, right? Like the universe
Right.
it's in.
Yeah. And another one that I think about on the flip side of the Munsters with vibe is like Nightmare Alley, where like I would
Mhm.
say it scored pretty high for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
And then the vibe like takes it even over the top. So like
Yeah.
Or like Mortal Engines for me. Like
oh yeah.
Oh, Mortal Engines, yeah.
like that movie is not a great movie, but that fucking world and like
But I
the
love it.
universe, like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
vibe,
yeah.
I want to be there. I want to be there
Yeah.
tomorrow.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So like
But-
vibe is important. But
Yeah.
you brought up like plot and like character development. And I would say one of the things that bothered me most, my biggest beef in this movie is, did anybody grow? Like, did a single character grow? They kind of started in the
No,
same
we just
place.
kind of saw more of who they were. We didn't ever see
Yeah.
them become something else, or like by the end of the film, you weren't surprised by their reaction, or there wasn't any like
Right. I found
breaking
that,
moment for them. It was just kind of weird for what the film was.
yeah, if you were going to do a bottle movie, basically, a lot of time it's all about character growth. And this one wasn't as much, which, again, on the fence.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I gave 1s for everything except for the plot. I gave it 2, and the vibe I gave it 2.
Nice.
Because I feel like the plot was okay, but it was so poorly done that I fucking hated it.
I feel like
And then
you
the
two are
vibe was
gonna just-
okay, and then I just fucking hated it.
Are you guys going to be on the polars?
What do you mean?
Like, are you guys going to north-south it? Like, it's either going to be all 5s or all 1s or all 3s. Like, it's
I
not
don't
going to
think
ever
so.
be a mix.
No,
I think
I already got 2s in there.
yeah.
Okay, that's true. You got 2s.
I was gonna say I think it depends on how much you liked or disliked the movie. Like obviously
is.
you're
It
gonna
is.
pull it if you have strong feelings, but if you're in the middle, you'll have an actual mix in theory.
Right.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. And I think that the algorithm really is to fuck with the people in the fence. Get rid
Yeah.
of that fence.
Yes.
All right. So our first episode, kicking down the door for next week. We're going to spin for it. All right. Now, see, we got cameras now, so Tim can see us, which is great because he can now see that big stretch.
Split the pod. All right.
Yeah, he's got to split that shit.
Let's just watch this movie again. I'm just kidding.
Tim picks 444, Last Day on Earth again.
Well.
Yeah, that's it for it. We don't actually have to say anything because we're going to transition into the
ad.
ad.
This is so weird.
It's super
Maybe I'll
weird.
get used to it, but it's just that like we've
Yeah.
done it a certain way for so long that it's like I feel like I don't know what's
We're
happening.
missing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like this episode, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FlipperFlix. I guess we don't have to say it anymore, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm old. Follow along, see what we're doing. Interact if you'd like to.
Yeah, hit us up there. I don't know. You can also give us recommendations on other of those sites, or you can go to our website at www.flipperflix.com. Yeah, we do a couple recommendations each season, so we just love we're trying to pander right now. We're trying to get you to come to our website, give us some clicks, and recommend us a movie because, we're going to have to pick those eventually, and more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
You can also, speaking of pandering, you can also rate and review us on Apple, Spotify now. Oh, we also do polls there occasionally. So that's always fun.
Answer Adam's questions.
Answer all of my questions, God damn it.
And if you're wondering, when can I catch these fools? You can catch us at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. We're on Spotify, as Adam mentions, where he does his polls. We're on Apple, Google, Amazon. I believe you can subscribe on the various platforms, and that way you'll get like a push notification or it'll come right into your queue. So that way you don't ever have to look at the clock on Thursday. It'll just be there for you. Kitty!
Can you later? Bye later.